So I'll call a roll call of the subcommittee. Bailey Sawers.
I'm here.
Councillor Lynn.
Present.
Councillor Rome.
I'm here.
Bailey Keenan. Bailey Keenan. I'll mark Bailey Keenan as absent. Councillor McHugh.
Present.
And Councillor Crichton.
I'm here.
Thank you. Pension Board. George Ramsey. I'll mark George as absent. I've had apologies from Councillor Donaldson. Councillor Duff.
Yes, present.
Kenny Dick.
I'm here, thanks.
Claire Shepherd. I'll mark Claire as absent. Arthur Nicholl. I'll mark Arthur as absent. And Raymond Boyd. Raymond doesn't appear to be present either, so I'll mark him as absent. So we'll now move to the main agenda. Declaration of interest. Are there any declarations? Can't see any declarations, so we'll move to item 2. Apologies. Can any further apologies please be intimated in the chat function? Item 3, minute of previous meeting. This is for your approval.
No comments on that. Agreed then. Oh, Kenny.
Yeah, it's just the apologies. It just says XX. Apologies need filled in, I think.
I'll get that sorted.
Okay.
Item 4, Tayside Pension Fund Risk Register. This is for noting.
Okay, members are asked to approve this. There's no changes to the risk profile since the previous report. Taking the sign of no questions as being approval. Okay, thank you.
Item 5, Pension Administration Performance. This report again is for noting.
Any questions on the performance report? Taking that as agreed then.
Item number 6, Tayside Pension Fund accounts. These are for noting. And please note, Audit Scotland have asked that the reports be heard in the following order. They're asking for report 255 to be considered first, and that's Tayside Pension Fund 24-25 accounts and audit.
Any questions on report 255? Take it that's agreed then.
The next report to consider is External Auditor's Annual Report 257-2025, again for noting.
Any questions on external auditor's report? Take it that's agreed.
And the next report is Draft Audited Statement of Accounts 2024-25. This is for approval.
Any questions on report 256? Take that as agreement then.
Item 7, the Pensions Regulator General Code Review. This report is for noting by yourselves.
So this report informs members of the outcome of the review undertaken by ICO of the TPR code requirements following recommendations by Audit Scotland. Any? Stephen, Councillor Rome.
Thank you, Chair. Just a quick question, and apologies if I've missed this, but it does specifically mention in terms of the reporting threshold for errors, and it mentions what would be considered material, and it said there'd be an appendix attached to that. I don't see the appendix, so I don't know if I'm just missing that, but just concerned in terms of when it mentions about deferred benefits, etc., and when something can be considered a material breach, it should be reported to the regulator.
Tracy, any insights into that, please?
The materiality is, I'm sure that in the TPR's training pack, they've got a full and long definition of it. It's whether it's of risk to the fund or of risk to a member, and if it's not deemed to be, if there's no resolution.
Okay, just as I say, I didn't see the definition of it in there.
I can come back to you and give you a definition on what constitutes a breach.
No, that's helpful, because I understand obviously there's breaches of the law and there's deciding whether those breaches are reportable, and I suppose that's what I was kind of looking for clarity on, because obviously occasionally we do have periods where things are out of statute, for example, and I know that measures have been taken to address that, but I just wondered again in terms of reporting that and in terms of us knowing when to question whether something is material. I think that'd be useful.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
Okay, with such comments, is that report agreed? Okay.
So item number 8, administration strategy. This report is for your approval.
So policy, the fund's policy has been revised in line with recommendations, code review to include record keeping and data improvement in sections 5 and 6. Fiona.
Hi Chair, sorry, I'm having a little bit of a connection problem here, but I'm just wondering if it's possible, just in terms of the external audit part, if I could just do a brief section. It's just on our commitment to fraud and things, if it's all right if I just do a little bit of a brief presentation just to make sure we're keeping ourselves right there, if that's okay.
No, absolutely, on you go.
Perfect, thank you. So it's just in relation to the first part of our report that you'll see there's a letter which has our audit opinion and then the representations that are requested from Paul as Executive Director of Corporate Services. Within that, at paragraph 7, you'll note that there are a series of confirmations that we seek from the committee, just in relation to, kind of fraud, whether that be alleged, suspected or actual, and any kind of events subsequent to the accounts that we should be made aware of. So it's just more to get that confirmation if there's anything that members would like to bring to our attention just in relation to those matters. I'll give a brief pause and I'll take silence as there is nothing to declare, but just to kind of cover ourselves there.
Anybody got any comments on this item? Thankfully, Fiona, there don't seem to be.
Yeah, no, great. It's just to cover ourselves just for that kind of fraud aspect. So thank you, Chair. Thanks for that.
Okay, thanks. And with those comments, is that excuse me, is that report agreed? Taking silence as approval, as always.
So we now move to item 9, Treasury policy. Again, this is for approval.
So this report revises the fund's treasury policy statement following ICO's review of compliance with the pension regulator's revised code, include fund rebalancing in section 6 of the policy. Any comments or questions on item 9? Seeing any, so I'm taking that as approval.
So we move to item 10. This is breach policy for your approval.
So, as it says, sets out the fund's policy in respect to reporting breaches of law to the pensions regulator. Any questions or comments? Seeing any, so I'm taking that as approval.
So item 11, Annual Treasury Management Activity 2024-2025. This report is for noting.
Standard report. Any questions or comments on item 11? Seeing any? Oh, Bill. Bill, you're on mute.
Apologies, I muted myself. Just there's a wee typo, I think, on the page at the top under 6. Bank of England base rate started the financial year at 5.25, it increased to 4.50 by the end of the financial year. That clearly isn't right. But that's just a small point just to point out. Page 236.
Okay, thanks for that, Bill, and we'll make sure that's amended before the minutes are published. Is that approved?
Thank you. So the following items are confidential. Can any members of press or public please leave the meeting now, and I will also stop recording the meeting.